Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Mallory Walsh, with another Our Town This Week episode. Our segment this morning is called Meeting Curly Tubbs. We have with us a longtime friend of Curly's, Everett Lamberson, who is willing to share his story of how he met Curly before he became famous. Hello, Everett. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'll be okay. I'm just a little nervous. That's all, being on TV and whatnot.
There is nothing to be nervous about. Just share your story with the fine people of our town. So let's get right to it. Tell us about the first time that you met Curly Tubbs. Could we please take him off of the remote screen and get a close-up of him talking?
Well, I don't think Curly's gonna like me telling this story, but about, I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that, there's uptown there's a tractor pull back of the Episcopal Church there on Oak Street. I had a little carnival thing going on, flea market and some rides for the kids, what have you, stuff like that there. And, I was standing there talking to a buddy of mine, and this pretty girl come by there, and I made some wise ass remark about her, and it just it happens her daddy was with her there, and he heard me, and he come up to me and he said, "You better watch your mouth, you little punk, I'll jack your jaw. You say something like that there again." And being young and stupid like I was, I said, well, if you got your daughter uglied up a little bit, you wouldn't have that problem. And the next thing I knew was I was flying over the top of one of them flea market tables, and stuff's flying all over the place. People is yelling and screaming, and it was a mess and knocked me out cold. And somebody had called the police and the ambulance, and them emergency people was slapping me in the face, trying to wake me up, and they finally did. And the guy says, "Hey, I'm from the emergency team there. My name's Curly Tubbs." And so that's how I first met Curly.
That is a fascinating story, Everett. But not something that you should be proud of, though. I was totally unaware that Curly was an emergency ambulance driver before he had his own TV show.
Well, you're right about that. I am not proud of that story, but anyhow, I was laying up there in the hospital bed getting checked out, and old Curly Tubbs, he come up there, see how I was doing, and turns out I was all right there. And I thought Curly was a good old boy, so I said, hey, Curly, you ain't got nothing to do some night. You come out the house there, and we drink some beer and play some cards or something." And I just left it at that. I didn't think he'd show up or anything. So one night, a couple of buddies and I was at the house there playing cards and drinking beer, and there was a knock on the door, and sure enough, it's old Curly Tubbs there standing there with a a couple of 12 packs of Schlitz beer, and so he come in there, and we was playing cards and stuff like that there. And so I don't know why, but I regret this now, but I got a cousin lives in Kentucky, and they got their own still down there, and they make moonshine, and he'll bring a jug of that up once in a while and leave it for me, and I broke that out there, and I don't remember a thing that happened after that. None of us. We was all blacked out, just drunk as skunks, and we woke up the next morning there. The missus was all worked up, and she's got that nervous condition. She gets the squirts when she gets nervous, and that was pretty not a pretty sight there. So she says all the chickens are dead out in the barn. So we moseyed out there, staggered out there, and check it out. And sure enough, all them chickens was dead. There's beaks and feet and feathers all over the place there, and looked like somebody threw a grenade in there or something like that there. So she called the county health board there, and they had to come out and, when you got dead animals, and do some verifying. Anyway, so we was out there in the barn, and they was looking at that, and they said, yep, they's dead all right, and wanted to know what happened. And none of us knew what we did. And I got thinking. I said, well, we've had a bunch of bad eggs here lately. Maybe them chickens there committed suicide. And they just looked at me for a long time, and make a long story short, we ain't heard nothing back from them in 20-some years. And that's my story about meeting Curly Tubbs.
Well, that was certainly a long story. We almost ran out of time, but we do appreciate you sharing that with us, Everett. That segment was called Meeting Curly Tubbs. We will be back next week with another episode of Our Town This Week.